Your team is one hit away from taking Baron Nashor, the ancient serpent that can win a game by itself. Someone flashes into the pit half a second early. The enemy jumps you. Your whole team dies in under 4 seconds. Someone types the surrender phrase before the serpent even finishes falling. That one mistimed flash will replay in your head tonight. Maybe all week. Long after the match itself is forgotten. Here's the real question hiding inside that moment. Why does a single mistake in a video game hijack your mood so hard? Harder than almost anything that happens at your actual job. League of Legends is the most played competitive game on the planet. Champions, callouts, rank climbs, everyone recognizes them. Underneath all of it sits a psychological engine most players never stop to examine. Every second of a league match asks your brain to run 5 separate jobs at once. Not one of them politely waits its turn while you deal with the others. Your eyes scan the minimap for a red dot that shouldn't be there. Your hands click to last hit a minion for gold, both at the same moment. That's divided attention, splitting focus across several live information streams. League rarely lets you look away from any of them for long. But watching everything isn't actually the hardest part of this game. Remembering it, while it keeps changing, is. The enemy jungler's flash comes back in 90 seconds. Dragon spawns in 2 minutes. You have to hold several decaying countdowns in your head while deciding what to do right now. Part of that is perspective memory, remembering to act on a future intention, not just recalling a fact. Then the map shifts entirely under you. You're farming a lane, then diving into a skirmish, then setting vision for an objective, sometimes all inside the same 30 seconds. That's cognitive flexibility, the mental gear shift between completely different subtasks. A full league match demands it over and over without a real break. There's also a slower, quieter demand underneath the chaos. Setting up Baron or a Dragon Soul means minutes of coordinated work. The payoff might never even arrive. That's delayed gratification, stretched across a single match. And through all of it, you're guessing what 4 other humans are about to do. Reading intent from an item build, a ward, a single ping. That's a shared mental model, predicting someone else's next move from fragments, with strangers who owe you nothing. That's already a heavy cognitive bill for one human brain to pay every single match. Here's what the game actually gives back when you manage to pull it off. There's a reason a 40-minute match can swallow your evening without the clock ever seeming to move. Clear goals, instant feedback, a challenge that scales with your skill through matchmaking. That exact combination has a name in psychology: flow. Flow is the single most well-documented reward that competitive gaming offers. A state of total absorption where self-consciousness fades and time genuinely distorts. One honest caveat: it's widely reported by players. Measuring it with real precision across a whole population is genuinely difficult. Climbing from iron to gold isn't just a number changing on a screen. It's repeated, hard-to-fake evidence that your decisions are working. That evidence feeds self-efficacy, the belief that your actions actually produce outcomes. The rank ladder is a machine built for generating exactly that feeling. But mastery alone doesn't explain why people stay in this game for years, through terrible seasons and worse teammates. Winning a scrappy 5 versus 5 with 4 strangers produces a shared high none of you earned alone. Landing a coordinated flank that works on the first try feels even better. That's relatedness, the need to feel connected through joint effort. It's one of the strongest reasons teams keep queuing back up together. Choosing to one-trick a single champion for years feeds a separate psychological need. So does running a build nobody expects. That's autonomy, the sense that the choices are genuinely yours. Play enough games and last hitting a minion under your own turret stops being a math problem. It becomes automatic, a form of perceptual chunking your brain builds through repetition. The same happens when you read a jungler's pathing or spot a matchup at a glance. Some players push further than casual repetition. They review their own replays, study specific matchups, drill combos on purpose. That's deliberate practice, a genuinely different animal from just playing more games. Now the bill comes due. League writes some of the most effective invoices in competitive gaming. You don't get a great play every game, not even every 10 games. You get one at unpredictable intervals, a shutdown here, a stolen Baron there. That's a variable ratio reward schedule, the exact pattern behind slot machines. It happens to be the single hardest reinforcement schedule for any brain to walk away from. A match runs 25 to 45 minutes with no pause button and no clean way out. Once you're in, that alone keeps you playing. Even through a loss you already know you can't fix. And the sunk cost doesn't end the moment the match does. Lose ranked points and the instinct is to queue right back up to win them back immediately. A losing streak stops feeling like data. It starts feeling like a personal debt you owe the ladder. An unfinished promotion series or an interrupted win streak stays cognitively open, nagging to be resolved. That's the Zeigarnik effect at work, though it hasn't been conclusively proven for leagues specifically. One teammate's frustration, typed in chat or spammed through pings, can spread through the whole team's decisions within seconds. That's emotional contagion. It tends to outlast whatever actually caused it. The community has its own word for the spiral that follows a bad setback: tilt. It isn't a clinical term, just slang players invented. But the mechanism underneath is real. It's called hot-cognition, a strong emotional state degrading judgment and risk-taking, right when you need both most. Tilt rarely ends a session on its own. It extends it. A loss at midnight becomes a rematch at 12:20, chasing the good feeling that the last game interrupted. That cue again reflex is exactly how one ranked session quietly displaces sleep. One more game at a time. Because the match itself never offers a natural stopping point. A single terrible teammate can outweigh 5 good games in memory. That's negativity bias. Bad experiences simply weigh more than good ones. It's part of why one rough match can sour an entire evening. New accounts sometimes run into opponents far stronger than they should be. That mismatch taps into social comparison. Sizing yourself against others. It can make an ordinary loss feel like proof you don't belong. When losses stack up across a long session, some players stop examining their own missed calls. They start blaming the 4 strangers standing next to them instead. That self-serving bias in its purest form, the quiet belief that your rank is capped by everyone else's mistakes, never quite by your own. So what's the actual return on 5,000 hours spent on the Rift? Picture someone who plays with friends, treats a loss as information, not an insult, logs off after a win. For that player, League genuinely offers flow, real competence, and real belonging. Now picture someone chasing one more game to fix a bad mood at 1 in the morning. That exact same system quietly costs sleep, patience, sometimes actual relationships. One hedge worth keeping, honestly. Getting sharper at tracking cooldowns and calling shots doesn't automatically make you sharper at deadlines or arguments at home. That kind of transfer has never been proven. One rule pays for itself more than any build guide. Decide how many games you're playing before you even queue. Win or lose. Let that number decide when you log off, not the tilt. The Rift will always offer one more game. What it actually returns to you depends entirely on which version of you keeps answering that call.